aren't doing any good. The many things that we promised our people on the campaign trail depend on the economy. And unless we sort out the economy, there is very little else we are going to do. So we now wait for the government to present to us their economic policies to see what can be done differently. Because what I know, Mr. Speaker, is that most of the people who are in the Jubilee government are also in this government. The only consolation we have is that I hear that the president is very well advised by economists. I hope these economists will now crack this nut and tell us what ought to be done so that we can come out of this conundrum. Mr. Speaker, the economy is what has caused a lot of unemployment. And of all the problems honorable members will face in their constituencies, I think we will be able to tackle many. But I think the one that will give us a lot of disappointment is the employment issue. Where are we going to get jobs for the many young people we have today? If we don't sort out the economic problems we have, I tell you, many of us will not be re-elected because the young people do not want to hear about it. They want jobs, and they don't want you to go back and tell them that we went and faced the, I think, sharks on the Jordan, because they do not know in the first place that there was a Jordan to cross. So we have to sort out the economic issues today and not tomorrow. Mr. Speaker, I noticed that the president has laid strong emphasis on agriculture. And coming from an area of where agriculture is the main activity, must say that the president's efforts should be supported. But Mr. Speaker, the problems are because of production. Production in agriculture is a very expensive thing in Kenya. Not just the fertilizer, but beginning from the tractors that you hire, the fuel that you put into it, and therefore the fertilizer. However, it is a good step that we have addressing the issue of fertilizer. Unfortunately, if you get farmers to go to the NCPB to buy fertilizer and say that they must be registered farmers, that is not good, because that is creating red tape. In fact, that will encourage corruption. Put this fertilizer on the shops, in the shops, so that people can buy them from there without having to get a signature from the DO or from the chief. They need to buy to access their agriculture, their fertilizer from the shops. Mr. Speaker, the president has addressed the issue of health. And as far as I can see, health is a very, very touchy issue. We are looking at it from the point of universal health care, and I think that is okay. But I would also like to ask a question, whether this house, although it is a house that believes in devolution, whether health is actually ripe for devolution. I think myself, Mr. Speaker, that by giving health to people down there at the county, before we prepare them properly, we are risking the lives of many of our Kenyans. And I think it is time for this house to reconsider and to whether this issue, health, shouldn't be brought back a little bit to where the experts are more, because not every governor is ready to see health the way the rest of the country would like to see it. I believe myself that we should not have devolved health too soon. We still need our doctors to be controlled centrally, to be posted centrally, so that we can be able to develop the facilities well. And Mr. Speaker, I think at some point the government decided to hire machinery, which they would have bought at the same price. We should now target the acquisition of X-ray machines, of MRI machines, of cancer machines, and place these within the hospitals in our localities. Mr. Speaker, I wish therefore to register my thanks to this speech.
Honorable Member for Endebess.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. for allowing me to register my thanks on the